Hello and welcome to the 43rd Shanty Sessions live stream. Paul, over to you straight away.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here once again on, as Stephen said, the 43rd. Can you believe it? We're nearly coming up to a whole year of these lockdown shanty sessions. They are, of course, our response on behalf of the Rogue Shanty Chorus as part of this lockdown, this epidemic season that we've been having for nearly a year now. In order to keep engaged and in contact with our beloved chorus, the Rogue Shanty Chorus, we gather to sing songs of a sea shanty type. And, well, we call them wet songs, basically, all kinds of different music based in the genre of folk and especially shanties. And what we do is we use these sessions just to make sure that the good people of our choir, as you just saw in that picture, don't forget the songs, and also to share some new songs that they may not have heard or songs that you may have heard. We're also delighted to have increased our membership, as it were, with new people along the way. So a lot of you may be proper members of our chorus that have met at the Seagull Theatre on a Tuesday evening to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful music. And a lot of others of you may have joined us along the way. You may even be new to us tonight. You may be joining us for the first time and wondering what all this is about. Well, sit down, strap in, and hopefully you'll enjoy what we're about to give to you.
Yeah, and I'm going to pick up on something Paul said. Paul said we're doing this so that our beloved Rogue Shanty Chorus don't forget the songs and the repertoire, but also so they don't forget the old Shipmates, which is a great song. And importantly, what we're trying to do is we are trying to react to the pandemic and keep the community going somehow. Now, as Paul mentioned, several of you have joined along the way, middle of last year, or even in the last couple of weeks due to the big kind of viral sensation of shanties on TikTok. Whichever it is, whether you're a long-term physical member, someone who's joined us from another country, or someone who's just here for the first time tonight, we really give you a big warm welcome. And I think it's fair to say that we are a community. When we're together, we're a community, and when we can only be online together, we are still a community. And that's actually kind of evident, really, with these lovely, very, very welcoming and very, very encouraging messages that we've got. You know, I'm just looking at the stream already, and there's some lovely messages. Claire Louise Langley, good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope you're all well. Well, Claire, I can't talk for everyone, but I hope you're well, and I think I'm okay. So thanks very much. Then, hey, Carly Franklin, because Carly Franklin said, hi, Claire Louise Langley. Marion Bashir, all the way from Canada, British Columbia, hi, all. The Drapers, evening, all. Carol Fisher, good evening. Ben Southern, evening, everyone. Tom McQuillan, good evening, everyone. I'm very pleased to join you. I think, Tom, you're with us for the first time tonight, so I hope you enjoy it. We will get on to some music soon, I promise you. And then Carly says, evening, Stephen, Paul, and everyone. Monica, hi, everyone. Michelle, good evening, everyone. Linda Boyce, oh, thank you, Linda, for this comment. Yay, it's Tuesday again. Hope everyone is okay. And then Kev and Tracy Barnard, evening, shipmates. Comment here that I'm going to pick up from Paul. Paul says this better than me. I'm going to have a go at Dav Vandenbroek. What do you think, Paul? Dave, is it? Okay. Well, Dave says, hello, this is Candlemas Day. Do you know about that? Well, we think we do, Dave. And in fact, I've got this wonderful book here called The Sacred Ring by Michael Howard. My camera won't focus in on it, but that tells us some wonderful pagan origins and Christian origins of British folk festivals and customs, and not just British as well, but further sea. And it's not just Candlemas, Dave, but it's also Imbolg, or also known as Imbolg, and also known as St Brigid's Day. And I thought we had a banner for that, but it looks like we haven't. Oh yes, we have. Yeah, there we go. Imbolg, as the Irish or the Scots and Irish Gaelic used to call it and still do. Candlemas, or Candlemas with a double S. Also St Brigid's Day. And we've got a very loose theme about about that. Excuse me. But Dave, we absolutely do intend to do a couple of songs that pertain to the date, be it Candlemas related or be it Imbolg related. And Imbolg and Candlemas was traditionally held on the 1st of February. And for those who are very astute, you will say, hang on a moment, it's the 2nd of February. Now, I go back to a couple of statements I've made over previous live streams about the fact that rural and traditional customs were often observed over 2 days. So it would be the eve of the day that it was mentioned and observed and celebrated, and then it would go on into the following day. So traditionally held on the 1st of February, but continues into and over the 2nd of February. And in the Gaelic calendar of Ireland, Scotland, as well as the Isle of Man, Brigid's Day, which is only on the 1st of February, is a day for predicting the weather. Now, another day that today is the 2nd of February. Are you keeping up? The 1st or the 2nd? Today, the 2nd of February is Groundhog Day. Now, Paul's laughing, but that's a true thing. And obviously, you know, I really hope you've seen the film because it's wonderful. But Groundhog Day is not so different from Imbolg or St Brigid's Day, because the weather law, which was brought from German-speaking areas as a forecasting animal, and it appears to be an enhanced version of the law that clear weather on the Christian festival of Candlemass forebodes a prolonged winter. And in the Gaelic calendar of Ireland, Scotland, and Isle of Man, they used to have different animals. So Scotland, the animal that heralds spring on this day, is a snake. And on the Isle of Man, it would be a large bird, the largest they could find. So that's resourceful. And in Ireland, there is a record of hedgehogs being observed for this same omen. So Groundhog Day over there and Candlemas and St Brigid's Day actually seem very interchangeable, certainly in some of their customs. And as I just mentioned, being the first day of spring, traditionally believed to be the first day of spring. But what it actually pertains to, Imbolg and Candlemas, is the day when the Christmas ceremonies absolutely must finish. So, you know, we had 12th night recently, which was the 5th into the 6th of January. Well, often rural communities would kind of linger on their 12th day and 12th night, and this was a day, Imbolg, where everything had to be put away, the trees, the candles, and new candles were lit in the altar of the church, hence the word Candlemas. And we in this book, actually, he talks to some people who still remember the kind of the prolonged celebrations of Christmas, which carried on to the 1st or the 2nd of February. Anyway, I think I've talked enough, Paul. Should we do a song, or do you want to do something else?
First of all, I want to see if you can remember the name of the groundhog.
Oh, was it Punxsutawney Phil?
Punxsutawney Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
Very well remembered. Yes, I'm gonna go into a song just because we're contractually obliged to do so. And I'm going to start with number 9 of our repertoire for the Rogue Shanty Chorus. If you're one of us, you may have a folder with this in. If you're not, we're going to display the lyrics, so there won't be any excuse for not singing along. Please do sing along with the lyrics you see on the screen. It's called The Worst Old Ship, or Waiting for the Day. It comes under a few different titles, including The Worst Old Brig, The Collier Brig, and such forth, but this is how we title it, The Worst Old Ship. The worst old ship that ever did sail, sailed out of Harwich on a windy day, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. She was built in Roman time, held together with bits of twine, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. There ain't nothing in the galley, nothing in the hold, but skipper's turned in with a bag of gold. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Off Orphaness, she sprang a leak, hear her poor old timbers creak, and we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day we get our pay. We pumped our way around Lowestoft Nest when the wind backed round to the west-southwest. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, we're waiting for the day that we get our pay. Into the Humber and up the town, pump, you blighters, pump or drown. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day. We're waiting for the day that we get our pay. Waiting for the day, or the West Old Ship, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. And we love to sing that song because it features our beloved hometown of Lowestoft. That's where we love to celebrate the shanties with a rogue shanty chorus.
Okay, I'm going to do your song now, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But just first up, this is not in the repertoire, so you won't. We won't display the lyrics, nor will you find it. And it goes like this. It's a poem written in the 16th century, put to music in the 18th century, called Candlemas Day. It's for Dav. Down with the rosemary and bays, down with the mistletoe. Instead of holly, now I praise the greener box for show. The greener box for show. The holly hitherto did sway, that box now domineer, until the dancing Easter day or Easter Eve appear, or Easter Eve appear. So very short and sweet, and actually taken from this book, A Suffolk Calendar by Alan Jobson. I'll talk about this a bit now with in terms of the context, because a few people, we've mentioned that today was Imbolg or Imbolg Day, also Candlemas and St Brigid's Day, and a couple of people have said, is there anything that you can do that's relevant? And we always try, obviously, but it's notoriously difficult to get not only melodies but proven or authentic melodies. Often what's happened is, someone's taken a huge liberty in the 60s or 70s with a 200-year-old ballad or poem. That seems not to be the case with that last one, so I was happy to do it. There's a beautiful version by Kate Rusby with the same lyrics but extended even more, but I only just featured what was on this page, just there. Which is kind of 2 verses. And old Alan Jobson says in this book, February 2nd, Candlemas Day, or Purification of the Virgin. I wouldn't have thought virgins needed purifying, but he says, as far as the sun shines into the cottage on Candlemas Day, so far will the snow blow in a 4 old May. And that's an old Suffolk poem. If the hedges hang a drop on the morning of Candlemas Day, there will be a good crop of peas and beans. And that's a Norfolk saying. So he says, all the Christmas decorations must be cleared out of church and hall before this day, or there will be a death that year in the family occupying the pew, where even a leaf or berry is left. Bum, bum, bum. One old lady was so concerned about this that she was not content to have the cleaning done by the sexton, but sent her servant on Candlemas Day to see that her own seat was free from danger. And then he goes into these words, down with the rosemary and bays, down with the mistletoe. Instead of holly, now I praise the greener box for show. The holly hitherto did sway, let box now domineer, until the dancing Easter Day or Easter Eve appear. So basically, get rid of any hint to Christmas until Easter or Easter Eve comes along. So there you go. That one we're going to dedicate to Dave or Dav.
In response to Candlemas, the Woods household say, Bonjour, mes amis. We're in chandelier mode chez nous. We have our candles are bright and about to eat crepes, so I can't sing along for the moment. Well, that's no excuse, is it really, Janet and David? Sally Hardman says, evening, everyone. Good evening, Sally. And Sarah Jordan, evening, everyone. Happy Imbolg to you all. Now, Marion Bouchette from Canada says, groundhogs. Here in Canada, we have Weorton Willie.
Oh,
I presume that's a groundhog.
Yeah.
Now, I sang The Worst Old Ship, and Sally says, oh, how I miss Helen. I think we all miss Helen. Hope she's well.
Yeah,
Sandra
absolutely.
Warner.
Yeah.
Sandra Warner's waiting for the day that we get together. And the Drapers were thinking just the same thing as Sally about missing lovely Helen. Waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day. COVID goes away, says Marion Bouchette.
Very good. It's so simple, but so effective. Why didn't we think of it? So I'm going to talk a little bit more before Paul does something else about Imbolg, which I've taken from this wonderful book, The Sacred Ring: Pagan Origins of British Folk Festivals and Customs. And that's just to say that that Imbolg was one of the 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals, along with, I'm going to forget the name of the 4th one, Beltane and Samhain, and there is a 4th. Maybe someone might know or might let me know. That's certainly the pagan version anyway. And then for Christians, especially in Ireland, it's the feast day of St Brigid. Doesn't mention Groundhog Day in here, not being the British Isles, but as I mentioned earlier, I think the link is quite clear, certainly with kind of animal foreboding of the weather, and also what I read from this book about animals suggesting that it may be a good year. Anyway, look, I'm gonna let Paul sing you a song in a moment, but I would just mention, since we haven't yet said it, please click share, won't you? If you think that anybody might enjoy this and you're willing to endorse us, just so that more people could enjoy it, then please just click share, won't you? And the other thing that we haven't yet done is we haven't yet told you what our word of the week is. Word of the week, or as Paul says, how you heard it, boy? Which reminds me, who has seen The Dig? The film The Dig, which is out on Netflix and tells the true story of the Sutton Hoo burial discovery, starring Ralph Fiennes and Kerry Mulligan. Everyone I see on Facebook says it's fantastic. I haven't yet seen it, but it and I'm going to forget the guy's name now. Charlie Haylock is a wonderful kind of extoller of the Suffolk accent, and he's celebrated, and he's a very regular contributor to BBC Radio Suffolk, and he was taken on as Ralph Fiennes' voice coach or dialect coach in that. And as I understand, Ralph Fiennes did an extremely magnanimous job in replicating the rural Suffolk accent. But talking about the Suffolk accent, this is our How You Heard It, Boy, Word of the Week, from Edward Moore's book, Suffolk Words and Phrases. And on every session, we choose a word that we don't think is in common parlance anymore, and we ask you to guess what it is. So this week's word is woulders, as in boulders, but said woulders. And we want to know what you think that might be. You can have a serious guess. You can have a mess around. Don't win anything. Please don't cheat. But let us know what you think it is. Anyway, Paul.
I'm going to go with another song, and this one is a shanty, and it's not in our repertoire, so don't go looking through your folders for it. It's called Where Am I to Go, My Johnnies? This is said to be one of Hugel's favourites, and in fact that he learned it from his friend Harding of Barbados. He'd not found it elsewhere in print, though, and it goes like this. Where am I to go, my Johnnies? Where am I to go? To me way, I roll and go. Oh, where am I to go, me Johnnies? Oh, where am I to go? For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Way up on that gallant yard, that's where you're bound to go. To me way, I roll and go. Way up in that gallant yard, the gansel for to stow. For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Way up on that gallant yard, and take that gansel in. To me way, I roll and go. Way up on that gallant yard, the rabbit for to skin. For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Where am I to go, me Johnnies? Where am I to go? To me way, I roll and go. You're bound a wave around Cape Horn, that's where you're bound to go. For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? You're bound away around Cape Horn, all through the ice and snow. To me way, I roll and go. You're bound away, me bully boys, that's where you're bound to go. For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? You're bound to be a sailor man when you have served your time. To me way, I roll and go. You're bound to be a sailor man, all in the Black Ball line. For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Where am I to go, me Johnnies? Where am I to go? To me way, I roll and go. Oh, where am I to go, me Johnnies? Oh, where am I to go? For I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Now, just to give you a little bit of context, because we often hear about the Black Ball Line, and this is where it comes from. It's originally known as the Wright, Thompson, Marshall, and Thompson Line, or then it was known as the Old Line. It was a passenger line founded by a group of New York Quaker merchants headed by Jeremiah Thompson, and it included Isaac Wright and son, Francis Thompson, and Benjamin Marshall. All were Quakers except for Marshall. It originally consisted of 4 packet ships: the Amity, the Courier, the Pacific, and the James Monroe. All of these running between Liverpool and New York City. The first scheduled transatlantic service was founded in 1817, in operation for some 60 years, and it took its name from its flag, which was a black ball on a red background.
Well, there you go, Paul. Do you know what? I somehow I've never heard that song. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, great. Love it. So thank you to Sarah Jordan, because she said the 4th one is Lammas. Of course it is, Lammas. It's a good job I wasn't trying to recall the Irish name. I'm going to have a go at Lunasar, but I'm very well aware that's probably wrong. But thank you to Sarah for reminding me. Lammas is the 4th one. I knew someone would, so bless you. Few comments about The Dig. Tracy Barnard, yes, The Dig was very good. Janet Woods, yes, The Dig is well worth a watch. Yeah, absolutely. And put Suffolk on the map as a filming location, obviously. Or maybe not, because often, you know, films are kind of made about a place and then they go and shoot it in a different country because they get a big tax break for doing so. So at least they did film in Suffolk, which is good for everyone. Janice Marjoram says, hello, everyone. Hello, Janice. And Tracy and Kev have had a guess at our word of the week. Walders. Is it a glacial boulder? I don't know, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to mention it just yet. But let's have some other guesses, won't you? So listen, we're going to crack on and do some more songs, because where traditionally we have gone until 9 p.m. BST or GMT, we tonight are only going until 8:30. So not now, but we will be going over to Zoom at 8:30 to do a post-shanty chat. If you haven't yet joined us, we've done these on several sessions since we started in 2021. If you haven't yet joined us just for 30 minutes, why not come along? Visit thevoicecloud.co.uk/Zoom to get the updated details of how to join. All you need is Zoom already installed on your device or tablet or smartphone, and you can join us with the details that are on that page. Just come and have a chat about shanties, about anything. Strictly 30 minutes, so we go on at 8:30 until 9 p.m. You'd be very, very welcome, especially our actual physical members. We'd love to see a few more of you join, please. But in fact, anybody is very, very welcome to come along, and we'll keep reminding you. But look, I'm going to do a song now, and this came to my attention. Heads up, by the way, it's number 62 in our repertoire. If you'd like to get your lyrics ready, but don't worry, I will put them on the screen anyway. But this came to my attention through this book by Boozy and Hawks, 50 sailor songs or chanties, and it's number 1 in the book under Anchor Songs, Sally Brown. And I must say, if you've got this book or you look for books, I know several people say, where'd you get that book? Mostly they're out of print, so they're very difficult. But if you then go on a book hunt, I haven't found this one particularly authentic or reliable, to be honest. I mean, in the first page, the chanty, and they have a footnote which says evidently a corruption of the French verb to sing, as in chanter. And generally, although it's kind of believed that it might be a contribution to why it's shanties are called shanties, it's also more likely that it's not. But there's also several other kind of inconsistencies or even contradictions within the book. So if you're looking for book recommendations, I wouldn't necessarily go for that, apart from to find some good old-fashioned shanties to sing. So anyway, enough from me. I'm talking through all my song allowances. If I talk too much, Paul says, you're going to have to lose a song now. So Sally Brown. And, well, I love this. It's number 62. So for anyone who knows how many songs our chorus does, you'll know that this is a fairly recent addition. It goes like this. Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way we roll and go, and we rolled all night, and we rolled all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Change the settings. Sally Brown, she's a little cracker. Way we roll and go. Well, she drinks dark rum and she chews tobacco. Way we roll and go, and we roll all night, and we rolled all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Well, her father likes a tarry sailor. Way we roll and go, and we rolled all night, we rolled all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown. Sally Brown, she likes a good scrumpy. Way we roll and go. Now she likes a bit of rumpy pumpy. Way we roll and go, and we rolled all night, rolled all day, and spend our money on Sally Brown. Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way we roll and go. Yes, Sally Brown, she's a fine young lady. Way we roll and go, and we rolled all night, and we rolled all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown, and we rolled all night, and we rolled all day. Spend our money on Sally Brown.
Nice. One of my favourites as well. Certainly of the newer ones, Sally Brown. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Let's do a few comments, shall we? I think.
Yeah, we've got Gillian Lamprey in the house. She says, "Evening, everyone. Good evening, lovely Gillian. Hope you're well. And wonder if you'll join us after for the chat. You did a couple of weeks back, and it was lovely to see you." Carol Fisher says, "Walders. Is it something to do with livestock, sheep?" Well, I see you're going for the pronunciation of it there, Carol, and it's as good a guess as any. And that's all we're committing to right now. So I'm going to pitch in with another song. This one is Spanish Ladies, number 19 in our repertoire. We'll be displaying the lyrics shortly. And this is was said to be one of the Navy's favourites from way back when, early 19th century, I believe. And it was sung as they left port. Spanish Ladies goes like this. Farewell and adieu to you Spanish ladies, farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain, for we've received orders for to sail for old England, but we hope in a short time to see you again. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors, we'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea, till we strike soundings for the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly is 35 leagues. We hove our ship to, with a wind from southwest, boys. We hove our ship to, for to strike soundings clear. 'Twas 45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom, so we squared up our mainyard and a channel did make. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea, until we strike soundings for the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly is 35 leagues. The first land we sighted was called the Dodman, next Framehead off Plymouth, then Portland and the White. We sailed by Beachy, by Fairlight and Dungeness, and then we bore up for the Southfall and Light. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea, until we strike soundings for the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly is 35 leagues. The signal was made for the Grand Fleet to anchor, and all in the Downs that night for to lie. Let go your shank painter, let go your cat stopper, haul up your clew garnets, let tacks and sheet fly. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea, until we strike soundings for the channel of old England. From Ushant to Scilly is 35 leagues. Let every man drink off his full bumper, and let every man drink off his full glass. We'll drink and be jolly, and we'll drown melancholy, and here's to the health of each true-hearted lass. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea, until we strike soundings in the channel of Old England. From Ashant to Scilly is 35 leagues. I'm going to go straight over to Stephen now, who's going to give you another song, because that's what we do here.
Yeah, so we mentioned that Imbolg or Imbolc was traditionally heralded as the arrival of spring, or the first day of spring, rurally at least. And this is we were looking for a kind of a lambing song, a folk song that was lambing, and any songs that pertain to spring or lamb always begin one morning in May. I've got another one that I was going to do, which is a great song called Death and the Lady. My gosh, what a song that is going to be. And that starts as I walked out one morning in May. And there's a lot that can happen in May. And this is another song called One Morning in May. It's in the States a lot traditionally, but it's also a British song, and it's in the Round Folk Index 763, and it goes like this. One morning in May, I spied a young couple, they're making their way. One was a maiden so bright and so fair, the other was a soldier and a brave volunteer. Good morning, good morning, good morning, said he. And where are you going, my pretty lady? I'm a-going out walking on the banks of the sea, just to see the waters glide and hear the nightingale sing. Now they had not been standing but a minute or two, when out of his knapsack a fiddle he drew. Oh maiden, it's time to give o'er. Oh no, kind soldier, please play one more. Well, I'll go back to London, I'll stay there a year. It's often I'll think of you, my little dear. And if ever return, it will be in the spring, just to see the waters glide and hear the nightingale sing. To see the waters glide and hear the nightingale sing. Hear the nightingale sing. Hey, so I think I may have got a chord wrong in that towards the beginning, and but I kept it in each time. So if don't write in, he was singing the wrong notes or playing the wrong chords, one or the other. I'm quite sure I was doing both, but I think I got a chord in the wrong place. Hey ho, never mind. If as someone once said, I don't recall the melody to this next song I'm about to sing, but if that kind of thing bothers you, I guess you wouldn't be folk music lovers. Let's do a few comments anyway, because we've only got 25 minutes and 39 seconds left. So there's a guess there from Sarah Jordan. Walders, are they razor clams or whelks or some other shellfish? That's a good guess. Yeah, don't know. I'm not going to say either. Pat Briggs, Walders, is it to do with spinning wool? That's a good guess. Sandra Warner says, Walders, I agree with Carol. Could it be the people that bail the wool up after shearing? I feel like that's a great guess. and that's based on Carol's suggestion, which Paul may have already features. Walders, is it something to do with livestock? Sheep? I don't know. Anyway, onto some song info here from Marianne. Firstly, rousingly sung, Paul, and then Michelle, 3 claps. So I guess, Paul, you up for doing another song? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pass over to him.
Okay, this one is not a shanty, but it's called Blackwater Side. And it goes like this. One evening fair, I took the air down by Blackwater side. 'Twas gazing all around me, when an Irish girl I spied. All through the first part of that night, we did lay in sport and play. Then this young girl arose and gathered her close and said, "Fare ye well, I am away." That's not the promise you gave to me when first your hair lay on my chest. You made me believe with your lying tongue that the sun rose in the west. Go home to your father's garden. Go home and weep your fill, and think upon your own misfortune that you brought with your wanton will. Well, there's not a man in this whole town as easily led as I. When the sky does fall and the seas run dry, why, it's then you'll marry I. It is then you'll marry I. That's called Blackwater Side, and it is in the round index as number 312, and it's a tale of unrequited love set to a beautiful air, decorated in characteristic Irish fashion. The first verse is evidently modelled on the Irish girl, but in English terms, it's known as the false young man. In this particular instance, we genderized it, and mine was based on Anne Briggs. Now, Blackwater is in Ireland, County Wexford to be exact, near Ballyconnegar. It's on the east coast, quite south, but not quite southeast, and that's where you'll find it. And it's a lovely song. I like it a lot.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you a song now. Actually, in fact, I'm just going to get Paul just to remind you of the word of the week, just for a moment.
Yes, I'm going to do that. The word of the week is, in fact, Walders. And it looks like this because we have a lovely book by Edward Moore from 1823 called Suffolk Words and Phrases, of which you can find all of our How You Heard It Boys section words or phrases. This word of the week is Walders. What do you think that might mean? Well, we've had a few suggestions come in, and those few suggestions include a few about livestock and wool. Sarah Jordan, don't know if Stephen said this, but Sarah Jordan says, Walders, are they razor clams or whelks or some other shellfish? I like that a lot. I'm not saying it's right or nearly right or completely wrong, but I do like it a lot. And David Holmes says, I don't think it fits changing the gender. Well, I'm not going to apologize for that, David, but I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for joining in.
Okay, I'm going to give you a song now. This is, again, not on a repertoire, but it's related to Imbolg and Candlemass and St Brigid's Day. As I walked out one morn in May, the birds did sing and the lambs did play. The birds did sing and the lambs did play. I met an old man by the way. I met an old man by the way. His head was bald, his beard was grey, his coat was of a myrtle shade. I asked him what strange countryman, or what strange place did he belong? Oh, what strange place did he belong? My name is Death, cannot you see? Lords, dukes, and ladies bow down to me, and you are one of those branches three, and you, fair maid, must come with me, and you, fair maid, must come with me. I'll give you gold and jewels rare, I'll give you costly robes to wear, I'll give you all my wealth in store, if you'll let me live a few years more, if you'll let me live a few years more. Fair lady, lay your robes aside, no longer glory in your pride. And now, sweet maid, make no delay, your time is come and you must away. Your time is come and you must away. And not long after this fair maid died, right on my tomb the lady cried, here lies a poor distressed maid, whom death now lately hath betrayed, whom death now lately hath betrayed. Okay, so we're talking about Imbolg songs and spring songs, and that's based on an earlier ballad called Death and the Lady, which was actually put into Vaughan Williams' folk song collection, published first in 1946, but I guess must have been collected many years prior to that, since we know he did most of his collecting around World War One. The version I know of that is by Shirley Collins, lovely version, recorded in 1970. But I think it's on at least the Alan Lomax, who recorded her, the Alan Lomax ethnomusicologist archive website, but possibly also on YouTube. And I think we know the lyrics of that. I mentioned them earlier on. As I walked out one morn in May, and they're kind of that's a quite a common line. As I walked out one morn in so and so. Now we happen to use it for May, and we talked about the lambs did play, since we're concerning ourselves with spring being Imbolg Day. But that's a kind of a lyrical device for setting the song up, whether it's a kind of a fairy tale, or you might meet a lover or a seducer or the devil or a talking crow. You know, it all goes on in folk music. So that's why I did that song, along with the connection to Imbolg, and I think any others I do in our remaining 16 minutes. We'll stick to our repertoire. Promise thee that.
And talking of repertoire, this next one is number 13. So if you have a folder with all these songs in, number 13, 1-3, it's called Beyond the Sea. If not, we'll be displaying it. Please sing along. And in the chorus, there's kind of a call and repeat. So we split our Rogue Shanty chorus up for this so that we get both sides covered. If you're not sure which one would suit you best, just pick one and sing along with it. You're very welcome to. I'll be singing the first part, since I don't have two voices, and unfortunately the technology doesn't allow for Stephen and I to sing along. But when we are back together and able to meet under COVID secure conditions, we'll be sure to sing this one again together. It goes like this. Beyond the sea that rolls between the world of care and things unseen, there is a land of endless day, where all our tears are wiped away. Beyond the sea, the restless rolling sea, I hear my loved ones gently calling me. I soon shall live above the shores of time, and dwell forever in God's celestial clime. Beyond the sea lies heaven's fair shore, where all our sins and cares are o'er, where care and toil have passed away, where weary feet no more shall stray. Beyond the sea, the restless rolling sea, I hear my loved ones gently calling me. I soon shall live above the shores of time, and dwell forever in God's celestial clime. No more shall beat the flood of years across these forms so frail and worn. No more shall roll the sea of tears across these hearts by anguish torn. Beyond the sea, the restless rolling sea, I hear my loved ones gently calling me. I soon shall live above the shores of time, and dwell forever in God's celestial clime. Beyond the sea, there's rest and peace. There Jesus bids his children come. Beyond the sea, the tempest cease. Their angels sing a welcome home. Beyond the sea, the restless rolling sea, I hear my loved ones gently calling me. I soon shall live above the shores of time, and dwell forever in God's celestial clime. Beyond the sea, the restless rolling sea, I hear my loved ones gently calling me. I soon shall live above the shores of time, and dwell forever in God's celestial clime.
Very nice, Paul. Lovely. Beyond the sea, and we actually we spoke to a lady who used to worship at the Fisherman's Bethel in Lowestoft, the town where our Rogue Shanty Chorus meet, and she remembers singing this at Sunday school at the Bethel. It was written by Frank Morrow, probably around the late 19th century, and certainly was used for both worship and funerals, either drowned, not found, or a more kind of earthly burial, non-wet burial. But there's a couple of comments there. One is Beyond the Sea, clap, 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 from Marion Bouchert. And I think another one, I don't know what this pertains to. Is that the song you did, Paul?
Yeah, Blackwater. I will just say, I hope I didn't sound too aggressive. But the reason I was quite happy to change the gender in that is because my version, based on the Anne Briggs version, she learned it from old Bertie Lloyd, and she was never that keen on the sentiment of it. She liked it for the melody mainly, but she said it pertained to a time long before long before the 60s in which she was singing it, and she said the actual kind of the sexist overtones of it wasn't something that appealed to her. So I decided to flip the gender and be a little bit more diverse with it.
Okay, well, there you go. Look, look, there's a message. Linda Boyce. I attended the Bethel Sunday School, thought it sounded familiar. There you go. We should say that Linda is a resident of Lowestoft, so it could well be that that's the case. I'll go on. I'll put that in as well. That was lovely, like that, from Karen. And Sarah Jordan says that's very moving. There you go. Not even a smile, Paul. Look, there was 2 compliments there.
I smiled, but you missed it.
I thought you had digestion.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do now. I haven't promised to do any more songs because this is going to be my last one. We've got 10 minutes and 33 seconds left before we head on over to Zoom for a kind of post session Shanty chat or Shanty chat. Paul's roaring in the background. I can see him backstage. And we'd love to see any of you there. Particularly, we'd love to see some of our actual physical members of the Rogues Shanty Chorus. We do get a few, but we'd love to see some more. All you need to do is have Zoom already installed on your device, and then visit our webpage, www.thevoicecloud.co.uk/Zoom. And all the details are on there: password, meeting ID, and link. But obviously, anybody is welcome. We've had people from America and Canada join, so we'd love you to come in just for 30 minutes. We go over at 8:30 p.m., finish at 9 p.m. That's BST or GMT, whatever we're on at the moment. Okay, so this is a great song by, I'm pretty sure this is by the Great Big Sea, which is a Canadian band. Marion Bichette, being Canadian, might know for sure, but it's a song called The Night Pat Murphy Died. And it sounds about as Irish as it gets, although obviously they're not. So, I don't know. Oh, the night that Paddy Murphy died is a night I'll never forget. Some of these boys got loaded drunk and they ain't got sober yet. As long as the bottle was passed around, every man was feeling gay. O'Leary came with the bagpipes, some music for to play. Well, that's how they showed their respect for Paddy Murphy. That's how they showed their honor and their pride. They said it was a sin and a shame, and they winked at one another. And every drink in the place was full the night Pat Murphy died. As Mrs. Murphy sat in the corner pouring out her grief, Kelly and his gang, they came tearing down the street. They went into an empty room and a bottle of whiskey stole. They put that bottle with the corpse to keep that whiskey cold. And that's how they showed their respect for Paddy Murphy. That's how they showed their honor and their pride. Said it was a sin and a shame, and they winked at one another. And every drink in the place was full the night Pat Murphy died. About 2 o'clock in the morning, after emptying out the jug, door rolls up the icebox lid to see poor Paddy's mug. We stopped the clock so Mrs. Murphy couldn't tell the time, and 2:15, we argued it was 9. That's how they showed their respect for Paddy Murphy. That's how they showed their honor and their pride. They said it was a sin and shame, and they winked at one another. And every drink in the place was full the night Pat Murphy died. Okay, so a premature ending there because I forgot the lyrics. So there you have it. Paul won't mind because he wants to get another song or two in, I think. And
just one more.
Yeah, okay. Tracy Barnard says, my chanties shat everywhere. There you go. Oh, yeah, Sarah Jordan says BST, GMT, or GNT. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm slow. I'm a bit slow today. And then David Holmes says, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it, he says. I don't think it is fine. I think he's got an issue with you genderizing that, but never mind.
I'm sure it's fine. What we should say is we haven't had a chance yet to say a very big thank you to our funders, the People's Health Trust. You can see them over here. This is their logo just down there. The People's Health Trust have been funding the Rogue Shanty Chorus now for some years, and especially through this lockdown epidemic period, we've been very grateful for their support, not just financially, but also their moral support and guidance, and all of the ways in which they help us to continue to engage and connect with our chorus as well as the wider community. They've been keeping us broadcasting, and this, as we have said, is the 43rd episode. There's 42 more if you would care to troll back through our Rogue Shanty Chorus page or the Rogue Shanty Boys page. I see there are quite a few mainly watching us from the Rogue Shanty Chorus, but there are some on the Rogue Shanty Boys page. There are even some on our YouTube channel watching us through YouTube as we speak, although we haven't had any comments from YouTube tonight, so I don't know who that is, but you're welcome to watch us through any medium you choose. All of the previous 42 sessions are on there. If you ever get the feeling that you'd like to reminisce and check them all out again, please do so. We'll be here again next week, next Tuesday, 7:30 to 8:30, And tonight we are going straight to Zoom after we finish. But anyway, before we do that, there's a little matter to address. The matter of Wulders. What do you think that word might have meant? Certainly around in the early 1800s. What do you think Wulders meant? Well, I think we can go straight to my colleague and good friend Stephen. He might tell you.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to move my candle, my Imbolg candle, Candlemass. This is an old one. Yeah, no, it's a tiny one. And Wulders means bandages. Teent quite well. I'm forced to keep the Wulders on. Wold is also used as a verb, says old Edward Moore in his Suffolk Words and Phrases from 1823. So there you go, bandages. Teent well, I need to keep the Wulders on. Simple as that. So I don't think no one was anywhere near that, were they?
No. Yeah. No, we didn't have many suggestions tonight, though. I'm sure Carly Franklin normally gets it right. She's good at guessing these. Now, a couple of comments before I do one final song. Ooh. Baron Bouchette, our friend from California, sorry, not California, sorry, from Canada. Pat Murphy is a Newfoundland folk song. No definitive authorship, first recorded in 1926.
Ah, well, do you know what? I've been mistakenly saying that is a kind of a newish song, you know, or like 70s or 80s anyway. So now I'm corrected. Thank you, Marianne.
Sude says, thanks for tonight. Happy Imbolg to all. Unfortunately, I could not get onto Zoom earlier today, so cannot join you tonight. Still, at least I can go cook my Imbolg Candlemas pancakes. Save some for us, Sue. Sally Hardman says she would prefer a G&T rather than BST or GMT.
Very good.
And Tracy Barnard and Kev say, in People's Health Trust, we are most grateful. Yes, we are. Thank you to them. And Sude says, woolen bandages, maybe. Your woolen bandages could be. Don't think it's specified. But Carly Franklin missed the word tonight. Well, I'm sure you would have got it. But it was clearly defined by Stephen there. Just before we go, any other business, Stephen?
I was going to do another song very quickly, or part of one at least.
Go on then.
So this is a song called "Leave Her, Johnny." I'm not going to put the lyrics up because I'm only going to go until we've got time to no longer go. But we knew it from. I've got a big pile of books on the desk. Obviously Stan Hugel, Bert Lloyd recorded it as well. William Main Doerfling. I've got a book over there. American folk singer, folk song collector, and ethnomusicologist of Dutch descent. So it's recorded on both sides of the Atlantic and everywhere else as well, actually. And I'm going to do it way more briskly than we do it with our chorus. It's number 8 in your books if you want to sing along, for those who have books or folders. And this was a pumping shanty. And the reason being because it would have been way too fierce a grievance to air on the open sea. It likely would have got you some kind of duties or punishment. And only during the pumping sessions at the end of the voyage, when the ship was in dock, could you kind of air such grievances as you do in this. And we've actually bowdlerized this somewhat as well to take out some of the rather rude inclinations towards the captain. But anyway, so. Oh, the times were hard and the wages low. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And now ashore we must go, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the wind's done blown. It's time for us to leave her. The old man swears and the mate swears too. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. The crew all swears and so adieu. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds do blow. It's time for us to leave her. She will not wear nor steer nor stay. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Her sails and gear all carried away, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the wind's done blown. It's time for us to leave her. For the voyage is done and the wind's done blown. It's time for us to leave her. Okay, leave her, Johnny, with some buzzing strings. And we're going to say thank you once again for joining us. Head on over to Zoom now. Just visit thevoicecloud.co.uk and you can join us there. Thank you.